Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's weekly market recap webinar of the US markets. So I've been away for a couple of weeks now, just been a little bit busy getting some other things sorted, which I'll lead into in a moment. But what a past couple of weeks we've had. Been very bullish, despite some of the things going on in the economy and some of the things that you'd think investors would be worried about, such as the inflationary sort of parameters coming out and warnings and a lot of talk around inflation at the moment. Seems to be being overlooked by investors at the moment, but something that I'm definitely keeping a close eye on. And once things start to look a little bit shaky, I'll be looking at possibly closing some of my current positions that are going to be affected by this. But so far, so good. Things are still opening up worldwide. People starting to move around. US is in summer at the moment, and from what I hear, there's still a lot of states and towns and cities and things opening up and starting to well have their freedom again, I guess, which is good. So that's obviously been seen as a positive at the moment. Whether investors are thinking inflation is inevitable, I'm not too sure yet. We'll see over the next couple of weeks and months, I think. So couple of green, well, 3 consecutive green weeks now for me personally, which is really good. Happy with that. Trading's going really nicely at the moment, making really good decisions. And I'll talk about a few of the positions that have been opened and a couple that have been closed this week as well. Just before I go any further, I just want to mention the new group that I've opened, the new trading group that I've opened that I'm trialing at the moment, where basically you'll get to see what kind of trades I make, how I trade, and just my thought process behind what I do and some of my risk management parameters, which I believe is one of my personal edges, being very conservative, I guess, and just being disciplined with risk management, I believe, is one of my bigger edges. And you'll be able to see all that if you're looking to join that trading group. So for information on that, just let me know if you're interested, and we can have some talks from there. At the moment, it's just in trial, just seeing how all the layout works and what it looks like before starting to get that out to people. All right, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we've been looking here at the S&P 500 for, well, the S&P 500 chart for a few minutes now. And we've got the vertical line as usual being the start of the week. And we'll just zoom in on this in a moment. Having a look, still following this lovely channel. We've got this nice little bullish uptrend overall, and breaking to new all-time highs this week, which is fantastic. Whether we can hold this will into early next week will probably determine the direction for next week, but hopefully we can get a really nice push past this level that we're at now and continue to hold it to see a nice next bullish leg up for the S&P 500. Something I don't usually bring up, but I thought was interesting as well. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ. Is this one that I had? Hold on. It is. Yeah, it is. Okay, my I did have some lines and things on here, but here we go. All-time highs for the NASDAQ as well. Pushing towards it. So if we can push through that, all-time high there at around 1472. So we're only 74 points away from that all-time high. That'll be looking really, really good for tech stocks, which have been having a blast over the last week as people start to rotate out of value and cyclical now that the dust is sort of settling on the inflationary warnings and back into growth somewhat. That being said, having a look at the Dow Jones, we've seen a little bit of a slower week and a bit of a sell-off for the stocks that are a part of this group, and that sort of, looking at this chart, just completely just demonstrates what I was just speaking about there. So we've seen a nice sell-off in the Dow Jones, NASDAQ pushing up to all-time highs, and S&P 500, sorry, where is it? Let's reload that. So S&P 500 making all-time highs this week as well. Okay, let's move into sectors now. So we've got year-to-date up at the moment. Energy still sitting at the top, had a bit of a slow week this week. Oil sitting at around $70 a barrel. That seems like a bit of a key number at the moment. It'll need a little bit of a push to get up there past $70, I think. Financials taking a bit of a beating over the last couple of weeks. Well, over this week actually, really selling off quite a bit here. So going from 29% to finishing at 27. So losing 2% overall with financials. Real estate's had another really fantastic week. They've been killing it every week since close to the start of May. They've been absolutely ripping. So I've got a few positions in real estate. A lot of my portfolio is actually made up of real estate simply because of how well they've been performing. So start of the week, 22%-ish gained around 2% for real estate this week, which is great. Then we've got XLB, so we've got materials taking a bit of a beating this week. We're seeing sort of lumber and steel prices dip a little bit. Same with other commodities like gold and silver, as investors get back into more riskier asset classes, I suppose. Communications and internet services. Okay, so fairly flat for communication and internet services. Yeah, basically sort of just opening a little bit less at the start of the week than where it ended, up maybe 0.5% or so, just below. Industrials taking a bit of a hit here as well. Not been a great week for them either, losing about 1.5%. Still sitting above the S&P though. Then we have healthcare next. That's had a bit of a rip this week, which is good. Gaining just under 2.5%, so that's a fair increase. Tech there sitting underneath that too, with just under 2%. Sorry, that was slow maths. Anyway, next one, utilities having a little bit of a bounce there as well. Nothing major, 1% up on the week. So they haven't done too badly. Next, let's get into the calendar for this week and things to look out for. So Tuesday, we've got retail sales, seeing how those retailers are going, and major news articles or news events will be the interest rate decision and jobless claims on Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday could be a volatile couple of days. Hopefully we get a decent open tomorrow, and futures are looking good tomorrow as well, so we can really capitalize on the first couple of days of the week before this sort of stuff starts taking its toll. Okay, all right, let's go into opened positions for this week. So opened HP this week, just after the huge dip that it's taken, as you can see here. Just pulling up the price that I got into it at. I got in at 30.87, so we're down a little bit on this one. It's hard to say where this one's going to go, really, because you can see we've got the lower highs and also the lower lows, but they seem to be sort of equal weighted in either direction. So this one could go either way. Yeah, so down about 87 cents a share on that one, or 80 cents a share on that one ish. But we're sort of hugging this 50-day moving average, as you can see. Sorry, 100-day EMA exponential moving average. So hugging that 100-day. Let's see if it can hold. Next one, IBM. So as you can see, I've got this big trend line here. As I'll zoom out, you'll see that this is a long time trend line, or long-term resistance that we've seen, downward sloping resistance, starting all the way from back in 2013, it looks like. So it's in the way. Yeah, back in March 2013, and that's had a few touches of this sort of area here before seeing a bounce over it, which is good. This is very bullish to me. I've taken a couple of options contracts on this one this week. Bought a couple of calls for $150. Was in and out twice this week, so that was a really nice profit seen on that, which is fantastic. It was really nice. We'll see how this one acts this week. I might actually even take a long position if we continue to see this push upwards, because that's sort of a really nice direction change, I think, especially if we can move above this 158. So I'll be watching that closely this week. Next, I added to my Iron Mountain position. As you can see, we've got these boxes in on the chart here, following the David's box method that I really like. Just simply added to my position up here around this 46.25-ish mark. So sitting pretty even on the shares that I added, but in profit on the ones I already had. As I said, real estate's killing it. Okay, next one, Auto Home. This is a Chinese car, bloody, I don't know, dealership sort of car salesy type thing from what I've read. So I initially went short on this at around 70, I think it was 73. That's why I've got this line in here. 73.03, went short 25 shares, not much, because I wanted to see how it would act. It was sitting around this sort of support level here. Worked out really well. So sorry, support level here, as you can see a few touches around here, so pretty much just testing the waters. It violated that support area, and after it did that, I bought a put on that company, and well, bought a put contract, and that one worked out really, really nicely as well. And that was a $70 contract, expiring, supposed to expire next week, but I sold early for profit. Didn't really like how it was acting down there. As you can see, it's sort of touching kind of the same area now. Could just be in this sort of consolidation zone like it was here, and then could take a level lower. We could see these two levels here. That's why I've got those in. But yeah, just didn't really like how it was acting, and sort of, I don't know if the move may have already played out by this point. We could see a bit of a reversal. But yeah, that worked out really nicely. So I opened and closed both those positions, the initial short and the put contract as well, closed that out for a nice profit. Okay, next, Fastly opened this position on, I think, the 9th or the 10th, one of those days, I can't remember, but it was around this area here, just over this green moving average line here. That's working out nicely. We're seeing some nice volume come in here as well after this big dip down. They had, actually I did buy in earlier in the week, and then they had an announcement that all these big websites that were run by Fastly were all down and suffering some outages. So I sort of paper hands my position there and sold out just in case, because it's already on a bit of a downtrend, as you can see. So I sold out that position in case that big news sort of tanked, made the stock tank. But in actual fact, I did the complete opposite, obviously, because that's what happens when you sell. And it started to move up. So I bought back in a couple of days later, and we're sitting in profit there with a small percentage, which is good, and it seems to be working out quite nicely, heading for the 50-day moving average. We can break above that, and that will certainly be positive for the stock. So keeping an eye on that. What have we got next? BXP. Same thing again, just added to the position on this, added just over this second last box here, so around this area 122, sitting in profit on this one on the add to the position. So sitting in profit on the initial and on the add as well. So yeah, this one's doing really nicely as well. Again, real estate, really doing well. Okay, next we've got CLNE, Clean Energy Group. This is a Wall Street Bets pump here that I was trying to get in on, but I was initially in profit, but just I should have sold earlier. Shouldn't be bag holding shitty trades like this. It wasn't really a smart trade. I was just looking to ride the Wall Street Bets hype, as most of us have been trying to ride some of those stocks that have been pumped there in Wall Street Bets, but should have sold this one but didn't. Only had a couple of shares. It's a bit of a gamble, I suppose. Never really good to do that, but as long as you're being smart about it and not risking too much. The next one, CCXI, took a position in this as it's starting to find a floor and starting to move up. This candle on Friday is a little bit worrying, but hopefully the volume can continue to increase. We've seen a lot of new volume come in since this big sell-off, which was a result of just not disclosing fully some of the effects of a drug that they had produced, and yeah, once they were found out, obviously not great news for the drug and for the company. So big sell-off there, sort of found a floor, and hopefully starting to move up from here. This could be a longer term hold. This is sort of a mean reversion play. Okay, lastly, Amgen, a biotech company. This was to be a scalp, and it only just touched my stop loss. So ended up getting out of that one for a loss, looking to sort of looking to ride this wave, and just had my stops a little bit too close. Okay, lastly, let's go on with a couple of, well, I've got 39 in here, geez, we'll talk about them quickly. These are ones I'm watching this week. So Abbott, watching this after this huge sell-off and higher lows coming in, and they're sort of fairly flat highs, but the difference in the angle between the highs and the lows, it's definitely pushing higher. So if it's to break this sort of trend line here that I've got, I'll look at taking a position. We've got some decent volume coming in here as well. AYX, it's had a pretty shocking last couple of months, as you can see. Still definitely in a downtrend, but what I'm liking is the last 3 days. Investors may have felt like it's found the floor, and if it can push up to the top of this range here, I'll look at taking a position. Next one, Alibaba. Now I've just included this not to take a long position. This could possibly be a short, depending on where it goes this week. Having a look at the chart, it will be very interesting once it gets sort of below this area. So we've got we've got 2 violations of it, 3, 4, 5 touches of this support area here. So if it breaks down past that support area, and especially if it breaks down past this area here at 205 and then breaks 200, we could see Alibaba fall. So basically just keeping an eye on that, see how this sort of turns out. It'll be interesting to see, I think. Okay, Chegg, not a fantastic company, but technically speaking, seems to be finding a little bit of a floor here down at this $73 level. Couple of touches of support there. If it can break above this 77.7 with a little bit of decent volume, or 78.6-ish as well. Yeah, definitely through that area there. So we've got 1, 2 touches, and then this sort of area here. If we can push above that, technically speaking, that might be a decent long position. Clorox now, possibly looking to take this one short. If it breaks much further past this area here, this horizontal line I've got in here, yeah, I'll be looking to sell it short. It's been absolutely tanking ever since we got sort of, well, when did it start picking up? January, it started to pick up. Then COVID, everyone was thinking, oh, buy cleaning products. And then when the initial scare started to die down, people started taking profits and moving into other investment vehicles or other companies. Okay, next one, Salesforce pushed above this nice horizontal, downsloping trend line. Sorry, I lost my words there. Pushed nicely past this downsloping trend line and up above the 200-day moving average there as well. The only thing I'm worried a little bit about is the lack of volume pouring in, but they did well on earnings. They beat by quite a fair bit, 35%. That's a decent beat. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. So I'd like to see a push above this second horizontal shorter time frame down sloping trend line as well, for me to take a long position. Disney, they're not doing great. As you can see, pretty clearly defined downtrend for the short term at the moment. Longer term, still on that uptrend, but shorter term sitting on that downtrend. If it can push above this downtrend line with a decent bit of volume, we might see a bit of a trend reversal here. But if not, if we continue to see it break down, we could see it sort of have its pivot point around these two areas here. The 167.9 or 164.8, around those areas there as well. So watching that, love the company, everybody does, not going anywhere. Let's see this downtrend find a floor first before entering. Dollar Tree, similar to ABT, Abbott, sold off quite significantly. They beat, but I think forward guidance wasn't fantastic. So that's why we're seeing that sell off there. Again, well, this one here, the higher lows and the lower highs, they're sort of angling at the same sort of angle. So that sort of tells me there's equal pressure there. So it'll be interesting to see which way it cracks, because we could see quite a decent reaction once it does reach closer to this area here. Have a look at the volume though, decent bit of volume coming in. So that would be interesting to watch this week. Enbridge, as you can see, uptrend. Oil and gas pipeline had a bit of a sell-off over the last couple of weeks, but seems to have moved its way back up. We're either going to see this go back down, or we can see it finding some feet and then breaking past this sort of slope and resistance area here. We'll see how that works. But as you can see from this child's drawing here on the chart, decent bit of volume coming in as well. Etsy, same sort of deal, big sell-off, finding its feet, lower, higher lows, fairly flat highs. If it pushes past this 175 area, we should see a decent reaction. Keeping an eye on that for that. Fastly, already talked about that. Might keep adding to the position depending on how it reacts over the next couple of weeks. Now Garmin, this is more of a trend following trade. Let's see if it can break through 144, 145.25 to break to new all-time highs. That could push the stock higher. We'll see how we go. We need the volume to come in though. Now Hyatt just broke this downward sloping trend line here and upward sloping lows. So decent little bit of volume over the last couple of days. So people are buying in. We'll see how it reacts over the first couple of days of next week. If it starts to move up, I'll be taking a position. Interactive Brokers looks to be breaking down here. This could be a possible short candidate. A lot of volume coming in off the last 3 red candles as well. Yeah, so we could see that breakdown. Well, I suppose the next major area of, I guess, support, this being mental or psychological support, would be the 200-day moving average down here at 62.50. So that's a sort of a $3 drop that we could see over the long term. Still on an uptrend, but for now seems to be breaking down, could be a short candidate. Next one, Kimberly-Clark, similar chart to Alibaba. Be interesting to see where this goes as it meets this 128 area here. As you can see, multiple touches of this this support area. So if it breaks down below that, we could see the stock reaching around this area. Probably worst case scenario for it, around the 110 area. So be keeping an eye on that, possibly shorting this week. Okay, Southwest Airlines seems to be starting to break down below this multiple touch area of 57.78. Has broken down a little bit through that. In fact, we did have a green day though on Friday, only up 7 cents. Not really fantastic reversal, but seems to be respecting this 100 EMA at the moment. So if it breaks down below that, might be a decent short candidate till about this 53.50 area. MasterCard, nice uptrend. Seems to be building up some pressure here. So this will be interesting, this area. If it breaks below this trend line, we could see a bit of a drop to 353 or 356 area. If it continues to respect this, upward sloping trend line, we could see all-time highs, I suppose. Sky's the limit. McDonald's, trend following sort of strategy here, looking for a bit of a breakout into all-time highs, sort of teasing it there on Friday. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it can push through with some decent volume. Monster, as you can see, bit of a triangle forming there. We'll see which way it cracks, hopefully to the upside. I feel Monster's done really well over the last couple of years. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Okay, now this is an interesting chart. So it's a fair few drawings on there. So we've got at the bottom there $48, some support level there. It's a fairly decent support level, I believe. A few touches there, 1, 2, 3, kind of 4, 5, 6, and close to 7. At the top here, we've got a downward sloping trend line, which the stock had broken through on the 28th of May, sold off a little bit, but what's really interesting to see is how it respected this level now and bounced back off. And the reason I believe it respected that level is because of how many touches we had here on the trend line here. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 in a short period of time. So now that it's pushed through, investors don't want to see that break again, because that would be a bit of a bearish sign, I believe, and that would be sort of cause for continuation lower, I think. So next hurdle will be this 65 area. If it does push through there with some decent volume, we could see a move up to 68-ish or all-time highs. So keeping an eye on this one this week, but this was a nice chart that I felt like showing you guys. Next one, Square, fantastic company, just breaking above this downward sloping trend line. As I said, tech's done really well this week, so we'll see if that can continue higher. Teladoc finding some feet after a massive sell-off from February this year. Far out, I've been bleeding. Anyway, found some feet down here at 129, working its way up to multiple resistance touches there. 1, 2, 3. We can push past here, this 156 area. That could become new support. So I'll be watching for a break of that and see if we can break out past that level, and I'll be taking a long position. Now Tilray, possibly looking to short this. Whenever they make big moves like this, they always seem to come back down. As you can see, this monstrous, ridiculous move up to 67. Didn't want to be the sucker that bought in at 67, eh? Far out. Anyway, yeah, so downward facing or downward sloping trend line, as you can see over the sort of medium term, it's been downtrending. Long term's been downtrending. Obviously, as you can see, these moving averages moving down, and then short term, it's sort of seen a bit of a bounce upwards, but seems to be losing some steam here and breaking through breaking down through this upward trend line over the short term. So we'll see how that works out over the first couple of days of the week. If we see red coming down towards this 100-day EMA, I'll look at taking a short position, I think, on this one. Okay, TripAdvisor found some feet after the sell-off, broken through the downward trend line, and slowly making its way up with higher lows. And well, we've got a little bit of lower highs going on there, but looks to be a bit of a floor, but we'll see how that works out, see which way it cracks up or down. The trade desk working its way up towards that working its way towards this higher trend line here, following this this upward trend line nicely for the short term. We'll see if it can continue, and we'll see how it opens over the next couple of days. If it continues to respect this area, I may take a long position and ride it out for a few bucks, and then see how it reacts around this point. Okay, Take-Two Interactive software. Okay, excuse me. All right, a few little drawings here. We've got a few areas of support and resistance. We've got all-time high at the top. We've got close range resistance from these two touches here. Then we've got closer range support from this double bottom here, as you can see, boom, boom. And then longer term support here from these two touches after this advance was made. So respecting this nicely, breaking through all these moving averages, which is very positive for the stock. Hopefully this 200-day moving average can become a little bit of support for them. But that being said, to make progress towards higher prices, we need to be breaking through this 188 level. So looking for that, and looking for a breakout play on that one. Okay, Unilever, same thing, moving up nicely, moving up towards this this resistance area here with the last kind of couple of touches there. That's probably the closest resistance area that I could justify at the moment, and we've got a few closer range touches there as well. So moving up nicely towards that resistance area. If it can push through that, I'll be looking to take it long. Again, just smashing the volume over the last few months. Almost there, guys. Upwork, same again, moving nicely towards this resistance area, looking for a breakout. Okay, WD-40 finally making some moves towards the upside. It'd be interesting to see as it breaks this this resistance area, 254.50, and then the 200-day moving average. We could see a move upwards from there. And then I think this is the last one, waste management. This is sort of a pattern play here. Looking like it's going to break down here a little bit just from the difference between the higher lows and the more aggressive lower highs. I could see this downtrend continuing, but that's off the back of a huge rally, as you can see over the last couple of months. So you never know, we just need to wait and see. So I think one more, Western Union. Little bit of a triangle forming here, squeezing towards the end of the triangle here. We'll see what way it moves. At the moment, it looks like it will continue the uptrend, just mainly because the longer term trend is upwards, but I could be wrong. Let's just keep an eye on them and see. Okay, Enphase Energy breaking out of this downtrend over the 200-day moving average. Well, over all of the moving averages actually. Looking really nice, doing great things. I actually like what the company's doing. Moving towards a more efficient energy source and parts for the machinery and equipment for energy, renewable energy sources. So I really like the company. We'll just need to see where the stock price goes over the next couple of days. Hopefully it can continue this nice green candle here and start moving back to the upside. Okay, Datadog. Okay, this is a really nice chart. We've got sort of a double bottom formation here. As you can see, it's really sort of respecting this 76 to 72 zone and slowly moving its way back up. Just beat the 200-day moving average. We'll need to look for a push above the 96.50 area though to see it move back towards the upside. Okay, last one, CCXI. I already mentioned this one before in the chat. So in regards to positions open, so I'm not going to go over that one again. Not last one, sorry. Okay, this could be interesting. Bullish flag forming on Moderna. Have a look at the sheer momentum. Green, 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 all the way to this area here. Seeing a little bit of a sell-off, a little bit of profit taking in this all-time highs. Yep, at all-time highs. I'm going to go with that. But looks like investors are pushing it to the upside, as you can see on this big candle here. Decent volume a few days ago. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot more buying and selling going on at the moment. But yeah, if sellers start to come in, there's not really much volume to back it up. So we'll see how that one works. Hopefully can continue through. I'll be taking a position on the break of this flag here to the upside. Okay, we're not done yet. We've got a few more. So CAT possibly selling short. Okay, looking to break this trend line here, as you can see, a couple of touches there. And if it breaks down below this area here, 215, or we could actually see it fall to 215 and bounce. I might actually put that in. As you can see, 3 touches, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next one, DS, same thing. It's breaking down. It's had a huge run, to be expected. I guess if we see this sort of area broken, it could fall further. IBM, long position, already spoke about that, breaking that long-term downtrend. Could be looking to ride that up with a long position. Yeah, I already spoke about Iron Mountain, and that was it. All right, guys, well, that was a long one, but there's so many opportunities at the moment. As long as the general market can stay bullish and stay positive, and money can keep coming in, we can capitalize on all these awesome opportunities that are there at the moment. And there's obviously plenty more. These are just ones that are on my radar. So yeah, anyway, I have loved doing this. I'm continuing to love doing it. Let me know if there's anything you want me to cover, or if there's any companies you want me to cover, or any educational content you want me to give. I'm happy to do it all. I'm not an expert, obviously. I wouldn't consider myself a veteran by any means. But I've done a lot of studying, a lot of research, and a lot of sort of case study, I suppose, on my own account. And yeah, if I didn't feel I knew anything, I wouldn't be putting this content out to you. So I hope everything that I explain is easy to make sense of, and that it's giving you great value, I suppose, and hopefully helping you to build up your watch lists for your weeks. Anyway, best of luck for this week. Wishing everyone a green week, and we'll catch up again next week. Have a great week, everybody.